My friend, Mr. Joyboy. Let's say I wanted to do an ICO and I'm like, hey, it's going to be $1 million raise. $1 million. Let's say I had 100,000 people with me. And one guy comes in and he's like, oh, there's 100,000 people who want to participate. I'm going to take that $1 million for myself because there's so much demand and I'm going to dump it on them later on. Okay. What Mr. Too Spooky is saying, the US dollar, 1 million, it's like the wrapped pulse in Pulse Chain. Because there's all these front runners, these bots who are like looking for these raises, which is just the token launches. However, imagine you said, hey, we're doing an ICO. It's going to be $1 million. But I don't accept dollars. I accept oranges. Oranges, that's right. So all these people who are participating, they've got their little dollars. So what they have to go do is, they have to go to the supermarket store, they have to buy oranges, put them in the plastic bags, and go and exchange them. And everyone exchanges like 5 oranges. But you know that big fat cat who comes in, who wants to like dump on everyone? Well, he's got $1 million, but he doesn't have oranges. So what he now has to do is, he's got, crap, I've got to run to the store. Who's going to give me $1 million worth of oranges in all these plastic bags so I can quickly give it to this guy? So that's basically the bots. If the bots have to go into risky pools, it's very risky for them. It's harder for them. They could get scammed, honeypots, and all these other things because they have to move to other stuff because they don't know this other contract. So for example, you can keep scamming the bots if you made a token pair, a honeypot pair, where it's buy only, you can't sell, and you bonded that with new tokens that launched. And so the bots, right, they have their pulse. So what they have to do is, so they've calculated, okay, I've got this money. There's this launch that comes in, like it's been 1 second. Okay, they calculate this. Okay, we've got to buy this token so we can then buy the launch because they're a pump and dump insider grifter, quant nerd, scum. Okay, but here's the problem. When they swap their pulse in, they've swapped into a honeypot. You've trapped them. They can't do anything. Now, whether it's a honeypot or not, usually these exotic pairs, they have to then calculate, have to do more hard work. They have to calculate the slippage, the liquidity, and all these things. It is one way to trap bots. You can do that. You have to check. Then basically the bots don't move. Imagine you could do that. Imagine everyone goes in and they swap in. So you could do any exotic pair, right? And then later on, you could remove the bonding and do it back to Pulse after the price is adjusted after like a week or a day or something. So that requires more effort to do that. However, why don't people do that? It's because usually insiders, they like the Pulse because they have the Pulse. That's why. I hope that kind of makes sense. It does make sense, right? Showing like, oh, okay, you got to basically make, instead of people going, straight into the door, they got to go left and right, left and right. Okay, you got to swap to something else and move to something else. This just removes the odds, the chances of them being able to do that. But of course, most people don't do that because you've got to, it's more effort. You got to like launch another token that's exotic, another new token, and put money onto it, and that's going to have insiders itself as well. And then when you add the liquidity, what if the insiders don't dump? You see what I mean? It gets tougher. But if you're doing different pairs that the bots aren't looking at, then you can participate in that. But also, it's risky for the bots. They can get trapped. They get honeypotted. So that's pretty much. And by the way, people are actively, they do these on Ethereum. They do all of them. They always try to capture all these bots and all these things that automatically do all these. So these are just one way you can do to try and mitigate these people coming in. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I know, like, give them a hard time, but really, you can't do anything to mitigate the issue because if there's a lot of people, instead of bots clicking in 1 second, you have a human who's clicking in 1 second after that. Do you know what I mean? So like, you're going through all this effort and then, all right, there's like, you stopped 10 bot scum. Okay, sweet. But you stopped the 10 bot scum, there's going to be 10 humans after that who buy fast anyway. You know what I mean? So it's just, it ends up being someone ends up taking it off the shelf. It's just like, okay, it's not a bot, there's a chance of him. But you also say, okay, there's just higher odds that the human who gets in first is more benevolent than an evil bot Scum who's just there to dump like they've done on all the launches and stuff. But then you might wonder, okay, is it even benevolent? Maybe that's part of the plan. A lot of projects and stuff, there were many projects from 2021, they botted themselves. They did it themselves. So you're always wondering, why don't you go and do this? And you realize, oh, I know, because you don't want to fairly distribute the coin in the first place, you pieces of shit. And then you realize it. And everyone's like, oh, how silly of us to think that these people out there want to actually do fair launches. They don't want to do them because the incentives are not for them to do it. They're like, hey, why should I do all this work, all this roadmap, whatever, and throw these coins out to the wild and someone else can actually take all of it from me? That's too risky for them. They're like, I'm not going to work when what if they've done all these websites and everything else and teams building and everything else, and like a human, the wrong human, takes all the coins at the start. That's what they're always scared about. So what they do is instead they go, aha, not better in your hands. It's better for me, the bot, the dev, to code my own bot and snipe all these coins that did it. I don't know if you've seen, like, some Twitter influencers were known for it. I heard some rumors like Gainsey and someone else. They basically, how they made millions and millions of dollars in 2021 was they got insider info about these token launches, and one of the insiders cut him a deal and they split it 50-50. They coded a bot and they went to all like these poker starter, all these coins are basically lost on like Option Room, all these other Scum, Polkadot pieces of trash, poker starter launches. All of them were grifts, minus 99.9%. Every single one of them trash. I can't believe it. At the start, they were always botted. So the launch would come in, they got the contract address ahead of time. They had a bot. They would all code and they would dump and they were just milking it. So they'd add like, 50K liquidity. They'd snipe all of it and just sell for like a 10x, an 8x, a 6x instantly, in literally like a couple of seconds. You know what I mean? So there you go. It was a dev leak on the team. Someone within Polkadot or some guy, he knew an insider who was getting these and was cutting him a deal. So it's kind of interesting to see that. So that's why this thing is really lucrative. Like you're seeing someone like, that's what I heard these rumors, right? People were posting it on Twitter years ago. I don't know if it's really true, but just show you how like Gaines is walking around with 5 to 10 plus million today, 10 plus million today. And like the rumor was he made like 4 or 5 just from 2021, just doing that, just this front run, botting, insider stuff. So just to show you that that's what these people try to do, man. They try to do like, oh my gosh, imagine we can milk everybody once per month. That's what they do, friends. They literally go, okay, there's 18 months to go. We're milking everyone for 100K once a month. 100K. Gainsey made like 4 million. So the other guy who was taking 50-50 also made 4 million. That's like an $8 million thing between them. That was on Ethereum, right? Ethereum, was 2021 hyperball at the very, very end. You see what I mean? It's crazy. And here's the thing, right? It's so scummy that even if the bull market's over, you're still making money, because as long as things keep launching, because the bull market doesn't just go like, okay, we're all done now. No, there's a lower high of people coming in. So there's still launches to happen. So there was all of 2021 launches. And you see, man, it's a dirty, dirty game.